I went from going to school 3 days a week in middle school to 5 days a week in high school. Yeah, just like that. A snap of the finger, a flick of the wrist, or whatever other expression you'd like to use. Now, granted, I was still doing work on my off days in middle school. I had as much time as I wanted on Mondays and Fridays to get up, do my homework, and still have plenty of time for myself when I was finished. But on Thursdays after school, I found myself wishing that I could get up the next day to go to school again, instead of having to wait 4 whole days to go back. That's why I was so excited for 5-day-a-week school. Now, I might be the kind of student that you call an overachiever, and with all my extracurriculars, I ended up longing for at least one of those remote learning days back just to give myself a little break. From these few years of experimenting, if you will, I've discovered that going to school 4 days a week and saving the extra day for remote learning so as not to lose any instructional time is the perfect balance of both worlds. The remote learning aspect teaches teenagers to be self-motivated and productive. The extra day to relax leaves more room for a healthy school life balance, and going to school less often makes the experience more valuable overall. Now, I've had friends tell me, "Lauren, that's crazy. I could never get any schoolwork done if I was left to my own devices." And I totally get that. But not going to school the full 5 days worked for me, and I firmly believe that it has such a high potential to work for many other students as well. I mean, when I had a few days off from being forced to wake up at the crack of dawn, I was so motivated to finish the work that was assigned to me. But more than giving me motivation, those free days taught me how to well manage my time. As I mentioned earlier, I had Mondays and Fridays off of in-person school, but I still had work that was assigned to me online. On those days, I learned to look at the big picture of my week to make sure I was prioritizing the most important tasks. For example, say I had some history notes that were assigned to me on Friday and due the next Tuesday, but I also had a big science assignment on Friday that would take up most of my time. I would be able to use my time management skills to prioritize my science project and in turn save more of my history notes for Monday to best maximize my time. This may sound like basic or common knowledge to some of you, but for me, these time management habits were engraved into my routine with remote learning days so that now I'm able to continue practicing them as I go throughout the education system. Enlidium Academy is a private school in Washington State that specializes in online and remote learning. On remote learning, they say, this allows students to work on projects at their own pace and prioritize tasks based on significance and difficulty. As a result of this flexibility, students learn to take ownership of their education and develop better habits when it comes to managing their time. Time management is incredibly important for college as well, as collegiate students have much more of that flexibility and ownership when it comes to their education. And as it turns out, Mount Vernon Nazarene University finds that dependability and time management are among some of the most sought-after skills that employers look for when hiring. The students of today, yes, March 26th, 2025, are going to be the ones applying for these jobs in the near future. The same jobs that look for those time management skills. But by forcing students into the box of the traditional school schedule, the education system prevents them from taking charge of and learning how to control their own time. Developing these time management skills while young can instill a lifelong practice of them and greatly benefit educational and career journeys. But despite remote learning days improving productivity, it's hard to want to be productive if you have minimal time for yourself. Free time can benefit students in many ways. It allows them to enjoy their short and precious time as adolescents, and it can help them find their passions to decide what impact they want to make on the world. Adolescent years are some of the most important years of development, as adolescence is the fine line between blissful innocence and pure independence. But as an adolescent myself, I've always wondered why adults seem to want their kids to take their time growing up And yet it's completely normalized to throw overwhelming expectations at them like they're adults already. Remote learning days allow adolescents time to simply take advantage of what's left of their remaining childhood. Or at least I had plenty of time to do that with my remote learning days. Like one Monday, my friend and I finished our schoolwork early and went to Legoland for the rest of the day. That day, we were able to balance the responsibilities that we were given with an opportunity to take advantage of the freedom that comes with being a kid. But school-life balance isn't only about making memories. In fact, this delicate balance can inspire passions in adolescence and lead to confident career choices. Forbes.com states, students with a strong school-life balance often have a clearer understanding of future aspirations, with 76% knowing what career they want to pursue. Conversely, more than a fourth, 29% of total students surveyed report fair to very poor school-life balance and say that it's having a negative impact on their ability to start career planning. If having that strong school-life balance led to confident career choices for 76% of those students, then free time needs to become more normalized among the remaining 29%. Schools are meant to foster these passions in all of their students to prepare them for their life after the education system. But if allowing these passions to grow on their own has a higher chance of leading to confident career choices, then schools need to give students that time. I mean, the students that are doing homework and stressing about tests right this very second are our future. We rely on them to propel the world forward with those confident career choices. But of course, in order to do that, those students still need to go to school. We can't simply foster their passions by giving them no responsibilities whatsoever. The only problem is, according to Yale University, 75% of high school students have negative feelings towards school. That's 75% of high school students saying, man, I really just can't wait for summer. But think about how powerful our society could be if we could change that to, man, I really just can't wait for school. And you know what? When I wasn't going to school 5 days a week, I couldn't wait to go to school. But now, in the traditional school schedule, my routine feels so cramped and repetitive that I'm longing for a break. The reason for this is kind of like the difference between running a sprint and running a mile, except replace the energy of running with the energy of paying attention. When the checkpoint is closer, it's so much easier to fathom getting through the week because you can tell yourself, okay, I just have to work hard for a little bit longer and then I can take a break. Adding that extra day to the weekend break as well can reduce stress by allowing more time to catch up on homework and prepare for tests. And without as much extra stress, school becomes a lot more enjoyable. According to the National Library of Medicine, emerging research seems to suggest that students who enjoy school will be more motivated and will aspire to continue formal schooling. These students are our future, so continuing formal education is vital to the future years of our society as a whole. We need students to want to go to medical school and become doctors. We need them to want to go to trade school and become electricians, and maybe most importantly, we need students to love school so much that they want to pay it forward and become teachers themselves. If a love for school is what leads to that continued education, then we need to foster that passion for learning. The future of our society is currently in school. They're sitting in class for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then finally being released to go home just to have 2 more hours of homework ahead of them. If you're a parent or adult, your child is the future. Or if you're a student yourself, then you are the future. And what we need to remember and understand is that the education system is what prepares them to be that future. But they can't be properly prepared if their time management skills, free time, and passion for learning isn't nurtured. If we want change and prosperity tomorrow, then we need to embrace an education system that nurtures that tomorrow today. Thank you.